Okay, so I want to talk about something which perhaps you already know about. I call it the rule of four. Okay, the rule of four. Working alongside today's trade. It's the rule of four. Okay, so but while we get into that, let's just um okay, yeah, let's just talk about um, remember the daily bias, bringing it down so it makes sense, right? So it makes sense. So right now we are having a move here. Looking at the charts, USDJ power is already bullish, like it's on a bullish momentum. But the question is, would the market drop down a little before going continuing up? That's why I mark this point I marked here. But there's a possibility of it getting back to this point, right? So I'll just briefly on this daily bias. Then we go down to HFX. This is what Wednesday. Talk about HFX. And before we end the session, I'll now brush through the rule of four, right? What to do after a high impact news, because we have a news in less than 2 hours now. So to get you ready for it. So first off, we have this move, right? So apparently all we have here is the market opened, pushed up, and is dropping, right? That's what I'm seeing here. And for our bias, it's always, if you can remember, it's always this. Okay, opens, right? As the accumulation, the manipulation, right? And of course, the last part, distribution. And the market closes, ranges, just above or below, depending on how the move is. If it's a down market, this is how it's going to be, right? So for this particular one, let us actually see how they open and they close was, right? Now I'll need to be fast, at least by 9 in the next 6 minutes. I should be done with this. Then we'll get into um the real thing we have for today, right? So early hours of today by 12. Okay, this is 12, right? This is 12. Market open right here at 155,512, but instead of dropping. So if you saw the rule of four, market open right here, right? At this particular level, manipulated just above and is already going down, right? So we should anticipate using our daily bias here, we should anticipate a low-key downward movement for today. The question is, where am I expecting this market to drop to? All right. Should I look at this low, the low of this low, or the low of this body? Should I expect that? All right. Should I expect that? All right. Should I expect this low? Okay, 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 okay. Funny. Yeah. As amazing as it is, I'm seeing a very big gap on this daily time frame. So perhaps the market might get down to that point. That is the point between this candle and this candle. I can get down to this point before moving on. So I've gotten my target point. That's basically the low of yesterday. So if market can get to the low of yesterday, then you're good. Let's see if it makes sense on the 1 hour time frame. All right. So looking at it on one hour time frame is a support. Market broke. Um, um, this is a resistance rather. Market broke. It became a new support. So expecting the market to get down to this point, look at it. It's not perhaps really a bad idea. All right. So if I'm looking at this particular trade for today, I can plot my entry to get in and of course um, take my TP off this point. That will be my target for today on USDJPY. So my next line of action now is, I believe you can hear me. My next line of action now is looking for a very good entry, right? This is 15 minutes time frame. And of course, it's already a downward trend on this 15 minutes time frame. The market um, respected a fair value gap. That's nice. It won't also be bad to have an entry around here. I use another color for this. So, all right. It's also be about to have an entry around here. One, two. Or simply wait for a fair value gap to form. After this candle, right? Whatever happens next, we'll find our entry in it. So, however the case is, my entry shouldn't be above. In fact, I don't want even to see. I don't want to see this market go above this zone I'm seeing here, right? So I want to plot it. Whatever happens, once I get my point, I can use this area as my entry. However the case is, take my TP at this particular point. This is roughly 60 pips, right? Roughly 60 pips. Have my SL right above this zone here. So I'm risking 14 pips for 60 pips. And that's actually a very good deal. Right? I can plot that and leave it on my allow it to run regardless. All right. So we've used daily bias to actually see what we're expecting for the day, plot our trade, and wait. Are you getting it? Just plotted our trade and waited or um waited for it. Right. So that is it about it. Right. Hope that makes sense. So since we got that out of the way, next is now to go deep dive into what we actually here for today, which is HFX. Right. Now, okay, before I leave that, there's a current candle on here, right? And there's a fair value gap in between this point. So you can actually use the fair value gap here as your entry, or the one over here as yours, right? However the case is, you are good. 15386. So let's see what we can do about that. Now I want to set it on mine, so here's the JP one. Okay, 154,814. Okay. So now about that, any question on this? Is it very clear? Is it very clear? Let me know. It's very, very clear. Let me know. Right? So we good with that. All right. So let's go. No questions on that, right? Okay. So we'll have that. I just set that on my own on my accounts now. So next thing is when it comes to your entries, right? For HFX, what you need is something like this. Let me come there. Okay. So back to HFX. In HFX, we are not concerned with any of this. So let me use GBP for that. Right. For GBP, the highest time frame you're looking at is 15 minutes time frame. So 15 minutes time frame is just like 1 hour or 4 hours time frame for MT5, right? So finding the best entries. First of all, yeah, you have to decide what do I really want to trade, right? Do I have the time to actively look at the charts and take my trades? Or do I just want to spot the entries, set pending orders, and leave and allow the market to execute on its own afterwards? These are the first two questions you ask yourself. Do I have the time to analyze, sit, wait for the trade, take the trade, see on that entry, take it? Or do I just want to focus on, do I want to dedicate like 30 minutes, spot my entries, place them on my pending trades, and leave the charts, right? So once you get that figured out, you execute. Now, very good Boxwave, right? It's a very good what's it called? Strategy for that, right? Zonda is a very good strategy for that. You spot your entry, you mark it, and you leave. Now, the rule number one is to actually understand the charts, right? If it's ranging, that's the best time to take advantage of Boxwave, right? If it's not, you have to take advantage of Zonda, right? So if perhaps you are caught in this moment, this area right here, should make sense. See? Mm, mm. Okay, on the 5 minutes time frame, right? This is actually a clear, perfect Boxwave. Comes here, you take a 15-minute sell, it comes back to the same zone, 15-minute sell. It came back here, 15-minute sell. So you can see on this particular point, let's say you saw these two, right? And on this fourth one, on this third one instead, the market reacted well. 15-minute sell, 5-minute sell, whatever the case is, right? You can see that what you're spotting is what is actually playing out, right? But if the market starts trending, then perhaps you start looking for zonal setups, break and retests. We have a support here. The market breaks, reacts here, good 15 minutes. But you can't just base on just this one reaction, right? We have, look at this here. In this particular case, we have a support, right, of these points. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is to spot possible Zonda reactions in other pairs and show us, right? So right here we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reactions. Market broke. What happened next? We have our first reaction on this zone. I can, right? Perhaps wait for another second reaction on this, right? Another 15 minutes on this particular point. But I always enjoy right? You can hear me. I always enjoy taking advantage of the first reaction because I know it's always going to be perfect, right? Since something like this has happened, I always enjoy taking the first reaction. This is a Zonda setup, right? I might risk a second reaction, but I'm not gonna go full um full risk on it or full leverage. So if I enter with like perhaps 5%, I might go with like 2% or even 1% on the second reaction, right? So my goal now is spotting setups. So I've already seen one, entry point 1.31437. I can set it and wait for the reaction till the day ends, right? So let me not bother. I want to even set it right now. Now I'm done with GBP USD. And of course, since I saw the setup on GBP USD, I'm about to see a similar setup on Euro USD. So let's see if I can see anything similar on Euro on, what am I saying, man? On Euro USD. Okay, now all you're seeing on Euro USD is like a Boxwave reaction, right? We have multiple reactions at this particular zone. I can decide to have my mark at this point. Let me use this to write this here for me. The market came very close and didn't react. I can have this point. If I start to work with this, it's not the most perfect. So I have like 3 points here. So I think I'm going to stick with this one. So if I now decide to look for zonal setup on this, how will I get a zonal setup? Zonal setup I'm looking for on this now is just right here, waiting for me, right? Above, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have like 5 reactions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The market broke. This was a support, right? The market broke it, right? Now I'm expecting it to get back here. So I can have this point as my um Boxwave entry for a sell. I also have this point as my Zonda entry for a sell. However it is, I'll wait. You're not forcing it. The only thing you're doing is putting in the exact amount you want to risk and allow it to run. It is that simple, right? Putting in the exact amount you want to risk and allow it to run. So you're saving yourself the pressure of how am I going to put it? I think you're saving yourself the pressure of watching the trade, right? Watching the trade. I saw something on UJ. UJ is getting very close. Okay, just to observe this, right? If it's for a fair value gap, it's already tapped into the fair value gap right now. It has already tapped into it. It is a fair value gap. Yeah, tapped into it. And it's a very good entry point anyway. But you can wait however it is. I just wanted to show you that, right? So back to this. We've gotten our entry. So wait. Next is yeah, right. Next is to let's check out another chart. GBP USD. 15 minutes. What am I seeing here? I'm seeing an upward movement. I'm seeing um this is a good point for Boxwave, taking a sell from here, right? Or you can actually decide to work with this one above here. When the market comes back here, 15 minutes sell, it's gonna drop. Then, but if you're looking at the Zonda setup here, this is too. This is the first reaction, right? Second, fourth, fifth, sixth, then it broke. So I can comfortably wait for a buy down here for this Euro GBP, right? This is a zonal setup I'm seeing here. Perhaps I'm also seeing a nice box wave around here, area of resistance, and I want to take advantage of that resistance there, right? I'm seeing something nice here as well. Even this point is also, I'm curious why this much reaction right here, right? But something clear I know I'm seeing here is a buy opportunity on GBP at this point, right? A buy opportunity GBP at this very point. So that is just it, right? That is just it for Euro AUD. Now, when doing this, you can simply choose the pairs you want to work with. You mustn't trade every single pair. Over time, in fact, there was a particular time, Euro CHF was my best bet, right? Euro CHF was my best bet because it always gives me clean reactions. No issues, nothing. Reactions are always clean. But sometimes when it's not clear, right? But when it's clear, it's as clear as. And let me see if I can see something here on Euro CHF. It's trending real hard. And there's nothing here right now. There's no clear zone here. You can decide to say, okay, we can take advantage of a Boxwave reaction here as well. Since this is a very good resistance, so it makes sense on 5 minutes time frame. Right? Now it has been selling at this particular point. So if it comes back again, I still drop again. Right? I mean, let's see it working with this particular one. Right? But for Zonda, there's no Zonda setup here. Nothing, there's nothing visible here. And the only clear low-key Zonda is this point. And it's not like my choicest point, right? You have resistance, market came back, supported. It's not like it's an opportunity for a new trade, no. All right. Now, this can actually in turn form as a possible buy opportunity. If I want to use Boxwave, right? So this area of support, there's a possible buy at this point as well. You get? So that is it about it. Okay, that is it about it. You can still wait for it. You get here, you take your buy. All right. So for GBP we can work with this, but this is not the strongest zone you can work with. You might be surprised, right? The market will come to this point and just break it without even realizing it was a former support. So we just have 2 points here. It's not really enough. And the market has not reacted to it. Right? It's not really enough. Let's go to 15 minutes and see if we can see something clear from there. So, the 15 minutes is not so clear. I think what makes sense more on the 15 minutes is this, right? Having this point right here, and it has not reacted. Respected, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a fake out. Market broke. So this will actually be a very healthy point to take a buy for a Zonda setup. Right. So you can see now within 15 minutes, you've gone through, first of all, the pairs you want to trade. Right? You've gone through the pairs you want to trade. And I think we'll miss that on that. You've gone through the pairs you want to trade. And of course, see possible entries, set your order, and you're good. Right? Set your order and you're good. So I believe that makes sense. I believe that makes sense. I have my eyes on UJ. He just kissing my entry and leaving. All right. So let's go back to that. Now I'm done with HFX. For the next 15 minutes, all right, it's gonna be the rule of four, like I told you earlier. The rule of four, how to I think I've missed my entry on that. I think it's all good though. I'll leave it. I won't adjust it. I'll just let it be. Allow it to run. Yes. It was the fair value gap and started disappearing. Right? There's a fair value gap down here. Let me show you this. As I respected it, and I have my SL, I have my entry just at the tip of this candle right here. So I'll wait for it. If it doesn't come, fine. If it comes, fine. So now back to rule of four, right? Back to the rule of four, just to brush through before we end this session for today, right? The rule of four, okay, over the next 10 minutes or 8 minutes, we'll get that done. Right. So let's use since it's a GPP pair, let's say GBP AUD, right? Um wait, excuse me, just a moment, please. Using what am I doing? Yeah, a moment. All right. Okay, family, sorry about that. Now, rule of four, right? Rule of four. Let's say, for instance, it's been a while we had crazy high impact news. So let's say this is a high impact news, right? This particular candle. Okay, let's say we have a news by um 8 o'clock. Yeah, I have a news by 8 o'clock, right? And this is the actual news. This is 8 o'clock, right? Let's use this one as it's the supposed news, right? So this is 8 o'clock, right? So rule of four is after 4 5 minutes candles, right? Of course, in the next 20 minutes, whatever impact the news will have has already exhausted, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. After the fourth candle, right? What you're going to do after the fourth candle is to mark either 1, 2, 3, 4. You can use a horizontal line to mark it, right? So your rule is if the market breaks above, let me use, I think a line will be better. So your deal is if the market breaks above the fourth candle, you buy. If it breaks below, you sell. You get that? during the news when it's the right time to stop tapping. You see, when the news comes out, this app you stop. No, one thing about the news here, you're always on the yeah, I think you're always on the live session on the news, right? So first of all, you enter a certain amount of, in fact, it's best to stop tapping immediately the news releases. Yeah, because there's no, if it's a high impact, very high impact news, there's nothing else to do because it has already made the crazy move. And you must have entered all your positions right before the trade actually, um, right before the news is released. Yeah, that's why, like a minute to the news, you max your position. So you are going in hard. It's either it takes us out or it goes our way, right? So everything is done before the news is released, actually. You max out your positions and wait. And if the news moves, if you still have more leverage, you can say enter move, right? So that's why the rule of four is there. So after that, first push, you can close, then now wait for the market to do its low tests, right? So on the 5 minutes time frame, wait after four candles, 8 o'clock, 8:05, 8:10, 8:15. So after 20 minutes, the next candle, you wait. If you breaks below, just like this, you breaks below, you sell, right? That's when you now use your initiative and know when to take your profits, either at a low or whatever it is, right? Know where to take your profits, know where to have your stop loss. I just said about that. Okay. So I believe I've done justice to that as well. I just needed to ship that in so that um we'll grab it. All right. So that is it about that. That is it about that. Okay. I see. So, all right. So, family, that is it about that. So, any more questions? Any more questions? Or we call it a day. Any more questions? I have my eyes on this guy. Let's imagine. I have my eyes on this guy. Any more questions? Any more questions before we call it a day? Any more questions before we call it a day? So, TP is right here. I'll wait for it regardless. There's no rush in there. Any more question or we call it a day? All right, family. So that's it for this morning. Have the best day and you anticipate an amazing news trading for today, right? Cheers.